Hi, my name is Eric Herzog, and today I will be presenting my speech. Ever wonder what lurks beneath the surface of the water, or what you're sharing that body of water with? Wisconsin has one of the most abundant supply of lake sturgeon in the world. Although there is an abundant supply, very few people know about how they almost went extinct, or let alone the characteristics of how they look, feed, and reproduce. In the 1800s, lake sturgeon were found everywhere in the Great Lakes. However, everything changed when the Europeans first came over. Europeans did not like lake sturgeon at all. In fact, they considered them to be a trash fish. Why? Because lake sturgeon would always swim into their nets and get tangled. But lake sturgeon are very curious fish, so they didn't know any better. According to Arur, a fish biologist, sturgeon would get tangled in their nets, removed by fishermen, and stacked on the beach to dry. Photos from the early 1800s depict sturgeon stacked on the beach like cord wood. They're considered to be a nuisance to Europeans. In fact, they absolutely had no commercial value because they're considered that much of a pain. However, everything changed in the 1880s. Lake sturgeon went from being considered a trash fish to a fish known as a delicacy. Europeans discovered that their coarse meat and caviar eggs was very good. It was so good that everybody wanted it. The demand was insane, and the supply was alright. In 1886, fishermen brought in 5 million pounds in 1 year. Later on in 1900, fishermen only brought in a couple thousand pounds. Crazy, right? They brought in 5 million pounds in 1 year, and then 15 years later, they only brought in a couple thousand. Later on, this caused the U.S. to create new fishing regulations that you can only fish and keep so many. D.L. Caswell, a biologist at Central Michigan, says, lake sturgeon have never recovered from the decades of overfishing, and that today, lake sturgeon populations are estimated to be at less than 1% of their former abundance. Only 1%. Even though they're almost completely wiped out, their characteristics haven't changed at all over the years. In fact, they haven't changed since the sturgeon first existed over 100 million years ago. Sturgeon have very unique body characteristics which separates them from any other fish, except one. They resemble a shark in many ways. Like a shark, they are torpedo-shaped and thick in front and taper off toward the tail, meaning they are very fast and elusive in the water. Because of their tail, which is a heterozygote tail as a scientific term, the upper lobe is longer than the bottom lobe of the tail. This allows them to get upriver faster and be able to spawn much more efficiently. As for protection, they have thick body plates that protect them from predators. These body plates are about 1 inch long and 1 inch wide, and they are very tough and rugged. So if a predator tries to mess with them, chances are it's not going to harm them. These plates, as well as their feeding style, haven't changed in over 100 million years. Sturgeon are bottom feeders and spend most of their time roaming the bottom of lake beds. One thing that's interesting about sturgeon that separates them from other fish is they absolutely have no teeth. They use their mouth to suck up everything off the lake bottom. By everything, I absolutely mean everything. Why? Because the National Geographic Society says they feel the bottom of the lake with 2 pairs of whisker-like tactical organs that dangle near its mouth. These organs, called barbels, help it locate bottom-dwelling prey. And what I said earlier about sucking up everything, I mean everything. They don't just suck up their prey, they suck up everything in the vicinity of their prey. Sometimes they will inhale weeds, silt, and even rocks. However, like humans or any other fish, they don't want to eat this, so they disregard it through their spiracles. These spiracles act as little vents and also as a filtration system. The food stays in their mouth while the bad substances and impurities go out the spiracles. Although feeding is very important. Reproduction is vital for their survival. Each year, lake sturgeon return to their annual spawning grounds. Whether that's up a river or a stream or in a lake, they will go wherever they are born. However, sturgeon must be of a certain age before they can reproduce. Females have to be at least 24 to 26 years old to reproduce, meaning that their size is probably around 40 to 50 inches long, is how you judge that off their age as well. While males have to be at least 15 years old to reproduce, meaning their size is around 50 to 60 inches long. However, sturgeon don't spawn every year after they are of age to reproduce. Females can only spawn every 4 to 6 years, while males spawn every other year. According to the Wisconsin DNR, only 10 to 20% of adult lake sturgeon within a population spawn during a given season. During this time, females lay anywhere from 50,000 to 700,000 eggs. They don't stick around to protect their eggs. In fact, they just leave once they are spawned. They will immediately return back to deep water and leave them. So on average, 1 out of 1,000 eggs will survive. Even though lake sturgeon spawn late in their life, the offspring they produce creates continuous reproduction for generations to come. In conclusion, lake sturgeon are truly fascinating creatures as they possess so many unique characteristics. From their special shaped torpedo body to their interesting feeding style, lake sturgeon are still surviving and reproducing as they have done so for so many years. Lake sturgeon are living dinosaurs and are some of the oldest species in Wisconsin today. With little adaptation since they were first created, lake sturgeon continue to survive all that they have encountered. They continue to swim just as they have done so for so many years. Thank you.